what is going on in Las Vegas. There have been 5 hit-and-run fatalities since December 5th. That is insane. Hit-and-run is a major problem that we are seeing on the rise. There's a huge increase right after COVID, and we seem to be seeing an increase right now. Definition of hit-and-run, of course, there's an accident and somebody leaves the scene. If you are in a wreck, even if it's one of those no contact wrecks where you cause an accident or maybe you're the victim of an accident, if you're in a traffic situation that you're involved in and somebody else crashes, you've got to stop. You've got to exchange information. You have to render aid. If somebody is hurt and you're involved in that wreck, you are legally required to render aid. You must exchange insurance. If you leave the scene without exchanging insurance, then that would be considered a hit and run. And hit and run penalties can be huge, because if you are involved in a hit and run with bodily injury, the mandatory penalty is 2 to 20 years with no probation. That's if you run. There's a bit of irony here. If you're involved in a wreck and somebody gets hurt or somebody dies, and if you're at fault, you may get hit with a misdemeanor. If it's a minor traffic offense, you may just get hit with a minor misdemeanor. But if you leave, you convert that thing to a felony. On New Year's Eve, there was a gentleman who was involved in a hit and run, and he left the scene. Now, I don't know who was at fault. I don't know enough about that wreck to know whether he's at fault or whether the pedestrian was at fault, but regardless, she died, and he left the scene. The police actually have some pretty good cameras. There's a lot of cameras up and down the strip. There are a lot of traffic cams that the police can track people. It's not universal, but they can do it pretty darn efficiently. And so they found him. When they knocked on his door, he said, "Don't worry, I've already opened up a claim with my insurance." But the problem with that is he converted what very possibly was going to be a misdemeanor, or maybe not any offense at all. If he's not at fault, then it's not an offense. But he converted that to a felony by leaving the scene. And now he's going to be prosecuted, and he's going to have 2 to 20 years. I don't know what kind of deal they'll make with him, but that's what is prescribed in the statute. So why is it that people leave? People leave for, I think, 2 primary reasons, maybe 3. Number 1, and I think this happens quite a bit, there's alcohol involved. Because drunk driving and getting in a wreck can result in severe penalties. And in fact, those have just gone up. A DUI that involves death is going to be it's the new year, penalties have gone up. It used to be 2 to 20 years, now it is 2 to 25 years. And a second offense used to be 2 to 20, and now it is 5 to 25 years. And so I think a lot of people, they leave after a wreck because they want to destroy the evidence of their blood alcohol level. Another reason I think people leave is they don't have insurance and they're scared. Another reason I think sometimes happens is there are some cars out there that are stolen. And you really have people know they're criminals. They know that they don't want to stick around for police. In my experience, as people feel economic stress, and there are a lot of people out there that are feeling economic stress, the rate of hit and runs tend to go up. And I don't know whether that has to do with alcohol or whether that has to do with lack of insurance. That seems to fit the bill. But let's imagine that somebody flees the scene. They are caught the next day. By this time, blood alcohol levels fully eliminated. Police are going to have a hard time establishing drunk driving. And how do you do that without blood alcohol level? I mean, in theory, you could do it by showing a history of drinking that day, get an expert to try to extrapolate what the blood alcohol might have been and show that we have video of them looking impaired. That might be enough. You actually probably could convict somebody on that. I think a lot of DAs would be hesitant to try, because the DAs, often they like more slam dunk cases, especially when they have the easy out of hit and run. Because remember, as of like 3 weeks ago, the penalty for DUI death would have been 2 to 20. That is the exact same penalty as hit and run with severe bodily injury or death. If you're at the scene, don't run. Be a human, even if you don't have insurance. It's better to do the right thing. 1, because it's the right thing to do. And 2, the penalties for hitting and running are going to be far greater when they catch you, and there's a decent chance they may catch you, than just sticking around, getting the misdemeanor, paying the fine, paying restitution. Yeah, fine, you may have your license revoked, but hit and run, it's going to be worse.